Hello there. Hello. Nate here with the Volunteer Tech Vlog on the Live Sound 101 YouTube channel. And I'm trying something new. I got the lav mic clipped to my seatbelt here. I don't know if that's such a good idea. It didn't feel right to clip it. You know what? I don't like wear it. I'll just change my mind. I don't like that. Oh, I didn't like it clipped here. I normally don't wear t-shirts in these videos, I'm finding. So now that I have a t-shirt, I'm kind of like, well, that's weird. I don't know, lavs and a t-shirt just kind of don't mix. I guess it's okay. I guess you do what you gotta do. But, yeah, it's just a little funky having a lav clipped to a t-shirt. But, oh well, you do what you do. So, anyway, hopefully you can hear me okay after the rustling and whatnot. Oh, but in this video, I wanted to talk about taking care of your ears as a live sound engineer, as a media tech, as a volunteer. Taking care of your ears, the importance of taking care of your ears. And the reason why this comes up is because I have done a poor job at taking care of my ears, admittedly. Poor job. So there's two main ways I want to talk. So there's lots of ways you can take care of your ears. I'm going to talk about two ways you can take care of your ears here. And I am not an expert in ear hygiene or ear, what do you call it? I guess you talk to like an ENT specialist that, you know, kind of somebody who specializes in, what is it? Ear, throat, and what is ENT even? Is it ear, throat, and eye? Eye, throat, and ear, throat, and whatever ENTs cover. I know it has to do with ears. But you go to like one of those specialists, they'll probably give you some real medical advice on how to take care of your ears. So actually that's something that I'm not going to touch on necessarily, but two ways just to keep in your brain. If you're doing live sound and you're around high dBSPL, there's a couple things you can do. So the first thing is, if you're in very loud environments, and what I would say, how I would classify a loud environment is if you are somewhere where the dBSPL, decibel as it pertains to sound pressure level, SPL, if you are in an environment where the listening position, wherever your ears happen to be, are in an environment where it's over 88 for an extended period of time. If it's like 89, 90, 95, 100, like if it's, I would say kind of where your little antenna needs to go up, or where a little red flag may need to go up, is if you're going to be anywhere where it's above 88 for long periods of time. So I'm pretty sure OSHA has some standards for this, and I think like 85 noise levels of 85 for like 8 hours is acceptable or something like that. But if it's above 85, then it's like not within. There's definitely an OSHA standard you can look up, and that more has to do with, I think, factory noise and noise on a production floor, construction noise, things like that. But just as a general rule of thumb, to kind of see OSHA's take on it, just kind of substitute all that noise for loud music, and that'll give you kind of a general rule of thumb or general ballpark idea of what may or may not be acceptable in a workplace. So I would say if you're listening to music in the high 80s, 88, 89, 90 for long periods of time, you definitely want to be aware of that. You would definitely want to have earplugs at the ready. So you want to be able to protect your ears from those loud volumes. So that's one way. And there's kind of this thinking that I think, especially when you're younger, or maybe when you're like new and you're going to you're like a new sound person, or you're in training, there's kind of this whole like tough guy mentality, like, oh, I don't need earplugs, like I'm a tough guy, I can handle it. But the reality is your ears are delicate things, and you've got little cilia in there which respond to different frequencies. And actually, that's actually the tiny little hairs, very, very small microscopic hairs, is what actually transduces, actually what takes those acoustic, the acoustic energy, the acoustic frequencies across the spectrum, and those little hairs is what actually transfers it to the eardrum. Now, I should have brushed up on my anatomy of the human ear, but basically, if you destroy those ears by those little cilia, the little hairs that respond to different frequencies, they don't grow back. So you can essentially, I think the way I've heard it explained before is if you are exposed to very loud dBSPL for an extended period of time, and you ever hear a ringing in your ears, that essentially means damage has been done to the cilia in your ears, and it's permanent damage. It's not like they grow back or repair themselves. So, and they respond to different frequencies. So once you damage your ears at a certain frequency, it's like it's gone for good. So it's something to be aware of, that it's not like a tough guy thing where you can just kind of tough it out. That damage is damage. It's kind of like looking at the sun. It's like, are you gonna be a tough guy and stare at the sun and burn your eyes out and go blind, or you know what I mean? It's like you can't really. That's not like a muscle you can work on to become tough. Speaking of which, I'm on my way to the gym right now. But anyway, at least as far as I know. So that's like the first way to take care of your ears, is to always have earplugs, always have some form of appropriate ear protection. If you're going shooting, if you're mowing the lawn, if you're working in a factory somewhere, if you're working front of house, if you're working doing whatever you're doing on your day-to-day, it's important to have earplugs ready, appropriate ear protection for the task that you're doing. So that's going to protect the little cilia. Now the second thing, and this is where it comes up, is what I was talking about before, and this is gross. This is a little bit oversharing, so there's a potential for this to become gross, just FYI. But Q-tips. You gotta know about Q-tips. Everybody's seen a Q-tip. I should have brought one with me. Everybody's seen a Q-tip, the little cottony stick thing that you stick in your ear. And actually, I think the only reason I would ever use a Q-tip right now is if I'm, working on some sort of electronic cleaning process where I'm taking apart a mixer and I'm using a special alcohol solution and cleaning off potentiometers or something like that. But you don't want to ever stick that Q-tip way down in your ear canal. And why this comes up is I actually just went to the doctor yesterday to get evaluated because I had been using Q-tips incorrectly for an extended period of time. It was one of those brain fart type things where I didn't really, I just got in the habit of using a Q-tip every morning. And so essentially I got in the habit of like compacting the earwax into my ear canal. And it's not a very good way to take care of your ears. And I'm sitting here thinking, geez, I'm a live sound person. I rely on my ears a lot for volunteering at the church. I rely on my ears for producing the AV Shop Talk podcast. I was trying to produce episode 43 last night, and I've got this issue with my ears. And so basically what happened was I decided I need to go to the doctor to get this checked out because I was going swimming, and every time I went swimming in a pool or the ocean or lake or river or whatever, every single time my head went underwater, I would get water trapped deep inside my ears. And I think we've all experienced water in the ear at some point in time. It's not pleasant. It's just not the end of the world either. It's almost like, you know what a pad is, a PAD? In the audio world, usually they're 10 dB or 20 dB pads. You can engage a pad on an input. Maybe it's a DI box, maybe it's a a mixing console of some sort. So if you've got a hot signal, you can engage the pad and it'll just take the whole, electronically, it'll step down the whole signal level or the voltage by 20 dB. And I think when you get water in your ears, it's almost like an acoustic pad, so to speak. So right now I have water in my ears, and it sounds kind of like everything is quieter. I can't hear high frequencies as much, and it just sounds like everything is kind of bumped down to a new threshold of hearing, and it's not good for a live sound engineer. So you get the sensation of water in my ears. I noticed that this wasn't happening just every once in a while, like if I went really deep, but literally every time my head went under the water, I would get water in my ears. And I was talking to my wife, I'm like, something's messed up. You get water in your ears that much? She's like, oh, I don't get water in my ears. I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny. Why am I getting water in my ears so much? And so it's actually another tip to stop that. If this is happening to you and you're getting water in your ears all the time, you can get this special these special moldable plugs. Actually, it's made out of a different type of a wax, not earwax, but you kind of roll them up in it's just like a big ball of kind of like soft plasticky material, and I believe it is some sort of wax material, but you warm it up, you roll it around, and you can kind of like seal off your whole ear canal, and it's waterproof, and you can go underwater, and then when you're done swimming, you pull that plug out, and it's like swimmer's earplugs. Yeah, look for like swimmer's earplugs. I actually don't know exactly what they're called, but I assume that they're called swimmer's earplugs or something like that. So you can get something like that. That's a good temporary solution. So I was using that the last few times we went in the pool. But then, I finally said, I know I gotta make a doctor's appointment, just have this looked at. And the funny thing is, I've had physicals for the last couple years. I mean, I've had this problem for a long time, and I've just kind of lived with it because I don't swim a whole lot, to be honest with you. Finally decided, I got to go to the doctor, get this thing checked out. But I've had physicals, and they've looked in my ears, and they haven't really said anything. Like, they never really said, oh, you're having issues there with your ears. So it's not something that doctors will necessarily pick up on unless you bring it up to them and you say, hey, I've gotten some issues with my ears, and then they'll say, oh, okay, or I don't know, maybe my doctor just didn't recognize it, I don't know. But as soon as I went in and specifically told the doctor, hey, I'm having issues with my ears and getting water in there, then she looked at my ears and said, oh, yeah, those are impacted. You've got impacted eardrums, you got wax in there, you got to clean that out. And I was just thinking, like, that's odd. I mean, I've had plenty of physicals throughout my life. I had this problem for a long time and didn't realize it. So anyway, I have an appointment with an ENT to go get this better taken care of. So that's my story for today about taking care of your ears. Definitely watch the high dB SPL. Make sure you have earplugs to protect against loud volume, and make sure you are not compacting your ears with earwax, because that's really gross. And I won't go into any detail about the solution for that. Actually, maybe I should go into detail about the solution for that. It is a little gross, but I figure if I'm going to talk about it, I should talk about it in one video and be done with it. That way, if somebody wants to skip it, they can skip it. But so I went to the doctor the first time, and they said, here, get this stuff called Debrox and put these little drops in there. It's kind of like a hydrogen peroxide water solution. And you put these drops in your ear. That she told me to do 3 drops twice a day. And that's supposed to like loosen up the compacted wax in there, which is really nasty. So you put those in there. But the problem is you put the drops in there, and it's almost like dunking your head underwater. It's like it's this past week I've been doing this, 3 drops twice a day, whole deal. It's every time I do that, it's like I can't hear anything. Like literally, I'll be at the office, I'll be making coffee, and somebody will be saying something to me, and I'm just like, I know your lips are moving, but I don't know what you're saying, and it's pretty horrible. So that is kind of like that is like a solution if you've got the problem. And I guess sometimes people put those drops in, and then they go to the doctor a week later, and the doctor does a flushing. I had my first ear flushing yesterday. So I did it. I got a bunch of stuff out on my own from just using the drops. And then the doctor took a look and said, oh yeah, it looks like you've loosened a lot of stuff up. But we're going to give you an ear flush. So they put this like little cup with like an ear cutout right up to you. And they get this like spray bottle, almost like a cleaning solution bottle. But it's filled with, again, like a hydrogen peroxide type of solution with warm water. But instead of a spray tip, it's got a hose, and then it's got a little nozzle that steps it down from a big hose to a tiny little hose that goes inside your ear canal. And they put this thing like way down deep in there, and she just sprays. And the whole time she's asking, if it feels painful, let me know, because we need to stop. But if it just feels warm and you feel some pressure, that's normal. So it did feel really weird. It kind of makes you feel dizzy a little bit, because it's like literally it's spraying like water like way down inside there. And I don't know if you're supposed to go for an ear flushing on a regular basis, but I don't know, if you're a live sound engineer and you're using your ears a lot, it's probably a good idea to, I don't know, once every couple years, just have your ears kind of flushed out, because it's not something you can really do on your own to really get down in there. So yeah, she's spraying away and stuff. It's messy, stuff's flying out of there, and she got a lot out. But the conclusion was she couldn't get everything out. So that's why she said, now you got to go see an ENT, special ear doctor. And I guess the ear doctor has special tools that they can go in there and do a deep clean of some sort. So I got that scheduled for sometime in August. So anyway, I'll keep you updated on how that ENT thing goes. But the whole point why I'm talking about this, even though it's a little bit embarrassing, is you got to take care of your ears, and there's many ways you can do it. And don't forget to clean them properly. No Q-tips. I always thought Q-tips were for cleaning your ears. Apparently, Q-tips are for possibly cleaning like way on the outside, but not the ear canal. The big takeaway is don't use Q-tips to clean your ear canal. They're not designed for that. So anyway, hope this public service announcement is beneficial for some, even though it's a little bit gross. Love to know your thoughts on this. What do you think? Do you have any special ear cleaning tips? Maybe I should talk to an ENT and get some real medical advice here about what are you supposed to do, because you're not supposed to use Q-tip. What are you supposed to do on a regular basis to kind of keep your ear canal clean? Because I mean, that's a tight little spot down in there. Anyway, I got to where I'm going today. I am at the YMCA, trying to get in a little bit better shape here. Lost 10 pounds so far. So been doing workouts like twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week before work. So it's been good. But anyway, I am here at the YMCA. Make sure you keep your ears clean. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. My name is Nate. This is the Volunteer Tech Vlog. See you in the next video.